I'm trying to say is use this platform to help other men, to get them to ask women questions, because it's only going to help a man become a better version of himself for the woman.
Motherfuckers, you don't start asking women questions, this conversation is going to go for another 10 minutes. You better start asking fucking questions to your women. I'm telling you.
At least seem interested is what women want to know. Kick your ass.
I am all in, baby. I am hyper focused on you.
Like it.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. So
I agree with you, Nicole. I do. I agree. The magic word. Learn that shit too. Move on.
Yes, please.
You sure? Okay. Support each other. What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Purpose Over Pleasure. And today is that time of the month. Not for her, for us, and for you listeners. It is the time of the month for the His and Hers episode, right? I know a lot of you guys tune into it. But here we are, and I'm your host, Alex Payne, with my lovely fiance, Nicole.
Hello.
A.K.A. Coley. If you guys haven't noticed, please notice. She got a new haircut. So, new haircut.
Yes, I did.
You look good, baby.
Thank you.
Looking like a snack. But anyways, today we are going to be discussing relationships. Ta-da, right? Anyways,
Dun, dun, dun.
whenever we come up with a topic of discussion for the His and Hers episode, we think about the things people ask us or DM us sometimes, or what would people enjoy listening. And today's topic of conversation is, what do we do in our relationship to keep our relationship healthy and strong? So that's what we're discussing today. We're going to tell them, babe. We're going to tell them the secrets of this madhouse.
The secrets, the loving secrets. You put up with my sarcasm, and I guess I tolerate yours.
No, mostly it's me being patient
Yes, your patience is being tested.
on a daily basis.
Yes, I gotta make sure I keep you on your toes. I've always told you that.
She
Since
wasn't
I've
lying.
met you.
She wasn't lying. She wasn't
I
lying.
met you.
Yeah, I gotta give you that. You weren't lying about that, but it comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Oh, the timer? Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I know the time. But let's dive into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do in our relationship to keep our relationship healthy and strong and fulfilling and loving? What do we do, babe? First thing first, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with each other.
Yes.
That was the first thing on my list. Mostly you, like
I'm more vulnerable.
60%, 70%.
I have no problems being who I really am.
Are you trying to say I have problems being who I really am?
No, I don't think you have a problem. I think you're still learning to let down your guard and your walls, which is fine. I have no problems with that. But I just feel that why wait? There's already this ring on my finger. I'm not trying to be anybody else but me. And the more I become vulnerable and transparent with you, the more you'll learn about who I am, which will either you fall more in love with me or fall out of love with me.
It's hard. It's harder. I would say it's harder for a man to be. Yeah. I want to make sure I specify for a man to be vulnerable. First thing you gotta know, for men, it is challenging to be vulnerable because a lot of times when men are vulnerable with their women turn around and take that and throw it back in their face. It's been done to me at least once, maybe twice, but at least once. So that was a really good learning lesson for me. Like, there's no way ever I'm going to be that vulnerable with any woman. Obviously, it's in a different situation with you. So that's a number one reason for a lot of men. Number one reason a lot of men are not taught how to be vulnerable, because there's lack of fathers nowadays. That's clear and clear as day. And women don't really know, like single mothers don't really know how to approach that topic with their sons. It takes a man to teach another man how to be vulnerable, and even that's tough.
Yes.
Even that part is tough.
Right.
So it's even harder and sometimes nearly impossible for a woman to teach a son or a man how to be vulnerable. So those are the two main criteria, but it needs to be done.
But I think you're gonna learn that in life. Like that's part of the journey of life. Is doesn't you don't have to specifically be taught by one or the other parent. It's you learning it as you go. I didn't learn how to be vulnerable with my parents.
Yeah, your pops is not the kind to be vulnerable. That's for
No,
sure.
exactly. So I don't think being vulnerable is something that our parents teach us. I think it's something that we just learn along the way. But for me, I think that it shouldn't be well, I'm a man and it's hard for me. No, it's the same thing that could be for women too. Women can be don't know how to be vulnerable, and then they block themselves from allowing somebody to love them more.
But women are more open and comfortable with each other. Men are not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, babe, come on. Women love to talk about their feelings to each other. Maybe not necessarily you in your circle of women, entrepreneurial, go getter, boss.
But don't you think being vulnerable allows you to be less critical of yourself and also not caring of what other people have to say about you?
How?
I don't know. I just feel like if I'm vulnerable with myself and somebody wants to use that against me, I don't have a problem with it.
In a way that what I do is, like, this podcast will be an example of that. I allow myself sometimes to be vulnerable because I'm confident enough to be that way. And number two, like, if I shared something about me honestly with no regret to you or somebody else, and you decide to throw that back in my face sometimes, that just tells me something about you as a
Okay,
person.
so then why can't you be like that in your relationship or all around? Why do you have to wait until something happens that you have to lower your pride or lower your wall? Would you rather end this world knowing that you gave your 110% to your partner, or then live in regret when that person dies?
Obviously the first one. Yeah.
So why wait?
Well, I guess some skeletons are still seem very, very big, and only over time they become
Have you
significantly smaller.
Have you made an appointment to talk to those skeletons?
I've been making those appointments.
Okay, I just wanted to make a chill.
Hey, fool, don't be throwing shit at me.
Don't get aggressive.
Hey, watch out. Hey guys, quick interruption before we get back to the episode. I want to tell you guys about a product that I've been using for a long time now, and it's a True Lean Wellness Shot. If you're anything like me, you're always on the go, and you got to stay optimized, perform at your best levels, then you got to get yourself some of these bad boys. They're filled with great ingredients like vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, echinacea, magnesium, potassium, black pepper, and cayenne pepper. They keep your immune system healthy and strong. They reduce inflammation in your body and keep your digestive system strong. Go ahead and go on the website at TrueLean and use my coupon code PURPOSE50, that's PURPOSE50, to get half off your first purchase and then 20% off following orders, plus free shipping. And if you don't like the product, which I'm yet to encounter anybody who didn't like this awesome wellness shots, you can cancel it and we'll part as friends. Go ahead, use my coupon, get yourself some of these, and stay optimized. Take care. But I think we talked enough about that part. Just be able to be vulnerable with each other. Like, there's something that's on your mind and you want to talk about. It's better talk about it sooner than later, because later it piles up and turns
and then it's a chip on your shoulder, and then it starts getting aggressive because you're holding on to it.
Yeah.
Because if I go more than a day,
never happens to me, by the way.
If I have to go more than a day about discussing what bothered me, it probably won't go more than a day.
In this relationship, you definitely have a shorter attention span when it comes to. Like,
I think because
I can go for 2 days.
When I grew up with that with my dad, I just can't do that. Like, there's things that I have yet to discuss with my father, or him discuss it with me, because he just doesn't have the words. He doesn't know how to express himself. So he shuts down. So I learned by him doing that how I should not be.
Yeah. Well, most of the time we end up either like our parents or in spite of our parents.
And until this day, I have to tell him, use your words. Dad, use your words. Don't break down. Don't shut down. Don't, I got to call you back later. None of that. It's, all right, discuss. Let's see. Say it. And let me see if I can help to see where you're at right now. But by you not saying anything is not helping you, and it's not helping me, so that I can get an understanding of how you're feeling, so that I, can either watch what I'm saying or, come at you different way or use better words so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So that's why being vulnerable or communicating, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is where I'm coming from. We've had these discussions on other episodes where, again, not what you say, it's how you say it. But I would rather you be your true, authentic self so that I get to know who you are. Mm-hmm. And so I get to get an idea of what you were before me. And I want to know who you are trying to become. Because we don't always want to stay in the present person of who we are. We always would like to be and enhance ourselves to do better.
You shouldn't. Nobody should ever be the same person.
But I think the people who are afraid of change and afraid of doing something different and taking those risks still stay the same people.
And I call them the still people, remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That dives into you mentioned having those conversations. Yeah, that's another thing that we do. We have those uncomfortable conversations. A lot of times they're not wanted, but they need to be taking place. Because if you don't have those uncomfortable conversations, eventually the bubble will just burst. And I know this. I try to practice this, but I would admit that in our relationship, I am the one who has filled the bubbles more than you. You can just come up and spill your guts right away. Me, I was like, I'll like watch, I'll observe. I'm a snake. I'm patient. And then I blew up. But not like I don't blow up, But you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So being able to have those uncomfortable conversations definitely helps. I always feel relieved and better once we have those uncomfortable conversations. But I think it also comes from the point that I don't like being mad at you or mad at us. I want to come home and give you a hug and kiss you and.
Because we have a good time.
Yeah.
So
I start to miss those. If we go for a day.
Because we have too many those experiences in our life.
Yeah.
That when we're not like that, we want to be like that. Like when we're arguing or we having a disagreement, because we don't argue all the time, but we miss those. Nitpicking, bugging, being a little kid with one another. We miss that. So we break the ice. Even if I tell you to go on the other side of the house.
You should go to the West Wing. Today, I told her today, give me 30 minutes. I got to take care of some marketing stuff on social media for my account. And she kept bugging me, so I told her to stop talking to me.
I wasn't even talking to you. I was on the phone with Leah. And then that's when you yelled at me.
Stop bugging me. I didn't yell at you. I very professionally and sturdily told you to fuck off.
You raised your voice.
I know I didn't.
You don't understand.
It's the tonality and the emotion that I put into it that made you.
Because you're Russian.
I guess. So then she picks up her plate of food and she goes, you know what? I'm going to the West Wing of our house. Because our place is big enough for us not to see each other for long periods of time. It's very comfortable. It's convenient. So that was funny. And then she came back 5 minutes later, kept fucking bugging me again. So.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that you don't get serious. Like, I know when to play with you, but I also know when to stop when I know you mean business. But even when I don't do that, I know that when you're ready, you'll like throw something at me. You'll, say something smart. Not physically, but figuratively
spank your
speaking.
butt when you walk by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the next one?
Next one is, by the way, that one was good. Being able to read each other.
Right.
Because it's
This
important.
is where being intentional comes in.
What does that have to do with intention, babe?
Being intentional is when you can feel the person's vibe because you're intentional with their personality, their energy. So we can feel that's being intentional. When you know when to say something, you know when I'm really upset, you know when to approach me or how to approach me. It's because you're intentional with my energy going on at that moment. There are times when you know that I'm like pissed and you won't try to fuck with me.
1 week out of the month.
Right. Which you should be glad. It's 1 week versus.
I should be glad.
Yeah, because how many women.
That's one quarter of an entire month. That I have to be in high alert.
1
I already
week.
have a stressful situation. I gotta
Let's
come home.
calm down, drama queen.
And I gotta come home.
Calm your.
And be afraid that I'll get stabbed in the neck.
I don't do it often. You know that
often?
I'm very, very cautious and
you are,
considerate of you and your feelings and you and your, space, your time when I'm having the time of the month.
Yeah.
But I've checked myself. So.
And I've checked you before.
You're lucky because there are women out there who do not know how to control their emotions and their feelings when the time of the month comes.
I wouldn't call it luck. If I were to dealt to the women like that, I wouldn't be.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to say it as you always do this. Like it's a normal thing where women just lash out, right?
No, it's not. What do you mean?
It's not normal. It's not normal, but when that happens, they don't know how to control themselves, right?
So bottom line is, okay, first of all, it's not normal, and don't give them an excuse of not knowing how to control yourself. At the end of the day, we're all adults. Yes, women have more hormonal imbalances than men do. Yes, 1 week out of the month, they're allowed to act a certain way. But at the end of the day, you are an adult. I am an adult. Wouldn't you agree?
Right, but you also need to understand.
There's a limit. I'm trying to say.
Is that a lot of women, they excuse themselves because it is a time of the month.
And that, my friend, is called bullshit.
Okay. It doesn't mean that you're right or wrong. I'm just saying that there are women out there that will use that as their scapegoat. Yeah. So what I'm saying is I can check myself, and even if that week, I still check myself. So you don't have that personality more often than typical relationships.
I'm happy for that, baby. Thank you.
God, I had to explain this. God,
you don't have to explain it. Smart ass. Moving on.
Yes, please. Thank you.
With what you just did, you just laughed, right? Which was my next point. We make each other laugh. Mostly me making you laugh because I'm just so awesome at jokes and sarcasm.
Yeah, because I'm rubbing off on you.
Me being such a great comedian, obviously, I keep this relationship going, and the spark in this relationship is due to my sarcasm. Years and years of practice.
Does that help you sleep at night?
I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, you do, because you kind of snore too much. And then you keep me up at night.
Hey, sometimes you wake me up because you...
Oh, man.
Whatever, I snore. That's one of the two bad habits.
It's because you don't let yourself rest, sir. That is why.
I don't know what that means, because when I'm asleep, I'm asleep. So I have to hear from you about my sleeping patterns that I don't know about, because I'm asleep when that happens, fool.
Obviously, so you need to take my word for it. And I know this because this is what would happen to me. I would twitch as soon as I start.
You still twitch, fool?
Not like you. You swing at me like I have to sleep with armor and be ducking and shit and I'm sleeping. You ask me why I have bruises. Well, there you go. Just kidding.
You gonna put a fucking domestic violence case on me and shit?
Calm down.
Bruises. Someone's gonna cut off that part, just that part, and post it like they did with Joe Rogan. Damn, this fool beats her. Wow, man. You know what they can do with video editing
so
nowadays.
funny.
Anyways, back to me being the funnier person. I'm just so good at it. It's important to make each other laugh.
Yes.
I like to say some stupid shit sometimes. You like to say even stupider shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even realize how important it is. It's kind of, for us, it's kind of like our second nature. We don't, it reminds me of that quote. People always say, I want to find somebody to grow old with.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better way to think about it is I want to find somebody to forever stay young with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's important because if you're constantly serious and you're being an adult about everything, that gets fucking tiring.
You have to be able to still stay a kid with your partner.
Yeah.
Because, tell me, who the hell likes to adult? Nobody. I don't like to.
I like to adult, but
right, it's fun.
When I have to adult for long periods of time,
No,
it does get annoying.
it's boring, and then you start like questioning, like, "Fuck, is this adulting?"
I think it's part of that thing we discussed the other day about you asked me if I feel safe at home, and I said yeah. Not only because I'm protective and somebody breaks through that door, they're gonna get smoked in multiple different ways, but also because like I can come home and just be me, just fuck around and be silly and joke around with you. So that's part of feeling safe at home. It's an important part.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be on such high alert when I'm at home. Yeah, it's my responsibility to protect my house, but at the end of the day, I have to be like walking on eggshells and shit. I can just be me.
And that's the part of relationships that people need to remember to ask. We can't just assume. I can't just assume that you're happy or that you feel safe or you feel at peace. There are sometimes, like, because you don't like to be vulnerable, asking those questions instead of assuming, it allows that person to start to think, oh, am I happy? Am I at peace? Do I feel peaceful? So
you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I
think the fact that I'm happy and I look forward to coming home is for me is a deciding factor that I know I'm in peace. If I had to think about or wonder, oh, do I want to go home? Or then we got a serious problem. Like I know some guys are like, fuck, man, I gotta go home to my wife. This bitch is gonna nag in my ear, or I was off for a week, and I couldn't stand her voice. I was like, damn, bro, fucking life is miserable.
But
man.
I'm pretty sure he's never talked to her, or they've never talked to each other to ask, like, are you happy? Are you at peace? They assume, or they don't want to hurt their feelings, so they avoid it, and then they complain to other people, or they complain to somebody else instead of going to the root of the problem, to letting that person know, hey, look, I'm feeling like this. And which is why I hope you will have enough, communication skills to say, hey, you know what, like, this is what's bothering me, or because I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who can't discuss how they feel. Being vulnerable, that's what I'm talking about. Being vulnerable enough to say, hey, look, I'm not liking it.
You also do dishonor to the person. We talked about one of your, I guess, friends or whatever, that you have more than one friend like that who vented to you about their partner. And you would ask, do you talk to him about that? And she would say no. So how is your partner supposed to change if your partner has no fucking clue that you have issues with certain types of his behavior? I'm naturally gonna do something that I get away with and you don't point out to me because I would assume that you're okay with it.
Right. And vice versa.
Yeah, unless you tell me, and it's in human nature to do a little more, do a little more, do a little more. So if you don't tell the person to stop fucking doing something, that person's not gonna know, and you continue to getting mad at them. So tell them. That's when the feelings get hurt and shit. That's when uncomfortable conversations need to take
But
place.
also, men need to start asking questions.
Like what?
Hey, like, it shouldn't just be the woman asking the questions. If a man wants to have his woman in his life, women like to know what I know you guys aren't emotional creatures, but hey, a small little, like, hey babe, like, how do you feel our relationship is going right now?
I think you do that for the both of us, and I'm
I
okay
understand that, babe, but I would appreciate it a lot more. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the time. It can be once a month, once every other month, because it shows that you are intentional in our relationship, that this relationship matters to you. So
I do
asking
that
questions,
at least once a month,
right?
yeah.
But it's not normal for men to ask the questions. And I think now, with the resources of social media and all the other platforms like this, where men make it normal for men to ask these questions to their partner.
But you have to also understand the dynamic. Women can sit down like this with a glass of wine and start venting and talking about shit. You know how men do it? We do shit together, and in the process we start to talk. Like we can be working on the car or working out or building something, and then in the process we will be able to talk about stuff.
So how do you get to know a person?
As a guy or a girl?
A girl.
I ask questions.
Okay, then. So what's wrong with that?
But I'm just saying the dynamic is different between men and women. Like men don't. It's hard. It's just not in a man's nature.
Is it possible?
It's possible, but it's not how men bond. I'm trying to tell you.
I got that.
Like women bond in certain ways, men bond in other ways. It's just how nature is. Like I have a penis, you have a vagina, babe. You know, last time I checked.
So how are you supposed to know what I like in the bed? Are you just
but we're
assume?
two different genders.
Okay.
So I can ask you questions like this, or we're sitting on the couch or whatever, cuddling in bed. Or, I'm not gonna ask. It's different for men. You don't have to. Why are you questioning it? Just accept that it is how it is. What it is.
I'm trying to understand your point right now, because I'm saying, how does a man get to know his partner, a woman?
By asking questions.
Okay, then.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Can we make it normal for a man to ask his partner questions?
Yeah, but I was talking about something else.
Okay, well then that's why you're getting like upset, or not upset,
No,
but like,
I'm explaining to you how men usually bond with each other.
I'm not talking about that. But
I'm explaining to you why it's harder for men in a relationship to be that open with his partner.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, they should be able to.
Right.
I'm saying the dynamic is different.
Okay, so I'm trying to say is, use this platform to help other men, to get them to ask women questions, because it's only going to help a man become a better version of himself for the woman.
Motherfuckers, you don't start asking women questions, this conversation is going to go for another 10 minutes. You better start asking fucking questions to your women. I'm telling you.
At least seem interested is what women want to know. Kick your ass.
I am all in, baby. I am hyper focused on you.
Like it.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. So
I agree with you, Nicole. I do. I agree. The magic word. Learn that shit too. Move on?
Yes, please.
You sure? Okay. Support each other. Especially when one person is having like a shitty day. Like my last week was tough. And I told you, shut up, babe, my last week was tough. And I put myself through different kinds of shit, and physically, mentally, even spiritually and emotionally. It was a tough week. It was fun. It was challenging. It definitely taught me a lot, but it was tough. And I told you, shut up, babe. This week I was checked out all the way through like Friday and even Saturday. Yeah. So you carried a little bit more load. 100%, I give it to you, and I appreciate that. So sometimes your partner can have a shittier day, so you gotta pick up a little more load, and vice versa. It's not always 50-50. So you gotta support on an everyday basis. Obviously, support your partner's dreams and ambitions and whatever their goals are. But on an everyday basis, we forget that it's the little things that count.
I honestly could have. I talked to myself when last week happened. I had to check myself because it did come up where I wanted to get upset about, I was a little bothered because I'm like, man, I'm not used to this. Like, how long is this going to go on where I can't really have a conversation with you? Because our conversations were very minimum. It was like right before we got into bed. And then even that was like 1-2 sentences.
Yeah, but I would come home,
Right.
just so they have the content. I would
Yeah.
come home and sleep, shower, and if I could, take care of some emails for some business and straight to bed, and then wake up the next day, rinse and repeat. Wake up the next day, rinse and repeat.
And of course, my ego came in and started to say, like, well, how come he's not at least acknowledging? Like, I had to shut it up because I had to check and say, no, there's a time and place for everything. Do you really pick your battles, Nicole? That's one thing my stepmom always told me. Pick your battles.
Is that because I didn't smack your booty when you walked by one time?
No, it's just he didn't ask me how my day was,
Oh.
but because I knew that that's the last thing you want to really think about because you already trying to just put yourself to bed from all the things you were thinking about throughout the whole week and that day. And the emotions are going to come up. Well, he's not asking me about how my day was. Did he even care? What did I even do today? Like, I had to just answer those questions to myself because I don't talk to really anybody else. So I talked to Honey, and Honey's like, meow. I'm like, I know, Honey. I love you too.
Fucking loser.
Shut up.
I got a loser for a fiance.
Wow.
Her best friend is a cat.
Hey, shush. Maybe we're gonna think I'm a cat lady.
Oh man, that show's funny.
Well, I just started my mastermind group. Be quiet.
All right.
So
Yeah, your mastermind.
I had to check my emotions, and I had to say, no, Nicole, why are you gonna get upset? Why are you gonna pick a fight? It's for the better. You are gonna have those days where even I'm pretty sure he's gonna get them down the line. You're gonna be busy. You don't mean it. You don't mean to be malice or anything like that. He's gonna understand. Remember when I was going every weekend to model. I went to Alabama, I went to Texas, and then I went to.
Oh yeah, I should have told you. Fuck this shit. This ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so it's the same.
Yeah.
If you want a woman who wants to keep herself busy,
Mm-hmm.
so that she has something to do with herself, and she's not like, "What are you doing? How can you not paying attention to me?" That's what's gonna happen.
Funny you mentioned that. It brings us right to the next point, which means give each other space,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sometimes it's okay to fuck off for a little while and do your own thing, but focus on self. Yeah, it's important. If you were even too naggy, if you didn't have like your own things going on, your own work, business, your new mastermind group with other women entrepreneurs, all that stuff, you might have gotten a little bit annoying. So in a sense, I think we have just the perfect amount of like I do my thing, I'll come home to you, and you do your thing. You come home to me. Sometimes we're in the same house, just working on different things, but then we're not each other's businesses all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you know what I do, and I know what you do, but it's not like each other's business and shit.
I couldn't. Like, if you didn't have anything going for yourself, I would not be interested. I've always told myself I don't have time to look behind me to see if you're catching up. I'd like to look to the side to say, hey, so what are you working on? Or what?
Bro, don't be stealing my quote. I told you this is a fast moving train, girl. You better hop on it or you're gonna fall behind.
That's your version and I have my own, okay? So
This is still a
don't try to
fast
say yours
moving.
is better than mine.
This is still a fast moving train.
That's great. I know. Go ahead. Go speed on. I'm cruising at my own wave.
My own way, my own
And
speed.
when you want to, join on my little cruise, you're more than welcome to. But I had standards for myself, just like you have your standards. And if people don't create their standards, they're going to get walked all over.
Yeah. Boundaries and standards. Yeah, it's necessary.
And how I wanted to live my life was with a partner who understood the entrepreneur lifestyle. Because it's not an easy one. It's very challenging. And if you speak to people who are a 9 to 5, they will it's not the same conversations. It's not the same book.
I mean, I have a 9 to 5 and I have.
Right.
And I'm in entrepreneurship. And
that's how I started. Same thing.
It's not easy. Nope. Entrepreneurship is definitely not for the weak. It's like modern day war type of thing. You really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. There's definitely comfort in 9 to 5. I'm not going to lie. There's comfort. There's benefit. There's not having to worry about tomorrow. But there's good things about entrepreneurship. The thing about entrepreneurship, though, that you can eat shit bricks for days, weeks, months, and even years before you make it out and succeed. But not many people are made
or have a thick skin.
Have a skin for that. Mm-hmm. I'm fairly late to the entrepreneurship game.
There's never time.
No, but I'm not saying I'm too late, but I'm fairly late compared to some of my peers that I do business with or look up to. Been doing business for like 10, 15, 20 years. But nonetheless, I love it. Yeah. Next point. You do this one a lot to me. Give each other outsider's perspective as a friend and as a lover.
As a partner.
A lot of times we're only focused on giving one tunneled opinion. When you kind of zoom out, you're like, as a friend, I'll probably tell you this. It's hard. How do you like step out from that role and go into another role and be like,
Well, you look at that person as a friend. Because sometimes love overpowers and you want to do things the lovingly way, but then you have to go into the conversation logically. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the logic isn't always butterflies and rainbows. So
a lot of times it's not.
Learning to have the conversation without giving too much emotion.
Yeah. That's definitely important.
So I had to learn how to talk to you where it wasn't too friendly and letting you know, listen, as your friend, first and foremost, get out of your emotions.
Why are you making me sound like a little bitch now?
What?
Get out of my emotions.
Nobody who says this.
Listen, Linda.
Oh my gosh. We all are emotional creatures, yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe it or not.
I'm just kidding.
And
I think my emotions a lot of times consist of anger.
Exactly.
Or self-criticism.
Yes. Being hard on yourself.
Being hard on myself.
And I have to, and you're out, and not all the time because I can get like that too, or you're in your head. The doubt comes up, the fear, the worry, and I have to like, hey. Remember, you have a purpose. You trust God to wake you up. You trust He will get you to bed and wake you back up the next day. If He can get you to get through your day, he can give you whatever it is that you said you wanted by just having faith and having those kind of conversations instead of like, oh, trying to boost your ego or trying to just, I don't know, like, what's that word where you just like that overbearingly pep talk.
Pep talk. It's more flattery?
Like flattery.
Yeah, I don't like flattery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like flattery. I could tell when a person is trying to flatter me. It was like, all right, bro, calm down. Like, I know. I don't need you to, like, because that's sort of like becomes ass kissing.
And then sometimes I tell you just like, stop being hard on yourself. Sometimes I have to be a little bit more aggressive because that's the only way for you to understand.
I do it a lot. Yeah, I realized that last week too. I go a little hard on myself sometimes, but I don't hate that trait about me. It's gotten me to where I am today. So I am my own motivator, my own critic, my own number one fan, and I constantly push myself. So I'm okay with that.
And it's important that women tap into their feminine because by them tapping into that, they are able to ground their partner.
Amen, Lord Jesus. No. Tell him, babe. Tell him. If you weren't in your feminine, a lot of times, most of the times, I could not have stand it. Like I don't like when women are in their masculine. You know. But then I have to pull my weight as well in order to allow you to be feminine. And that's the part that some of these motherfuckers don't understand. They want the feminine woman without having to have responsibilities of being a masculine man. Shit don't work one way. You gotta go both ways. Yeah.
And that's my duty as the woman of the house is to tap into, say, hey, I need you to be present. I need you to calm down. I need you to take some time away from your phone, from work, and just let me baby you. Let me nurture you. Let me remind you that you can take your armor off. You can be here, be that total big cuddly bear so that you can reset yourself. Because if you're always just tense, then it's going to do more harm than good for you. And then you're putting yourself at more risk when you're out there.
Yeah. But one thing you don't do that I really appreciate, and that used to cause me so much headache in my past relationship, is you don't start arguments over the phone. And I told you that from the very beginning.
Oh, I've known
do
that since
not.
Beginning.
Huh?
I've known that before.
Yeah, like do not ever start arguments. First of all, if you argue with somebody over text, you're an idiot. You're writing just letters and words in black and white, and the other person has no idea about your emotional state. Arguing over text is a dumb way of arguing.
Or like passive aggressive.
Yeah, or like I'll say LOL with something, and then you might interpret it totally different, right? So, especially for you couples out there, do not, and I mean do not ever argue over the phone. No matter how bad it gets, revisit the subject later for two reasons. Number one, you give yourself time to cool off. Number two, you actually will communicate in person and you're aware of another person's emotions and mental state. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, because when you lash out, like, and you act on your emotions, whew, it can get ugly. You'll start saying stuff that you don't agree with, or you just say it because you're mad and you want to attack that person.
Didn't we have we had an episode about that? Yeah, our episode how to argue better, how to argue with your partner better, and that was one of the things. Don't just lash out. Take a break, revisit the subject. Yeah, 100% we did. Should we give him a last but not least? Our secret one, the secret sauce, the cherry on top. Yeah. What drives the relationship? They're probably thinking we can give them some sexual advice and shit. We won't. That'll be a whole different episode.
A whole nother podcast.
Right. This one is simple, guys. This one is simple, and it's key. Okay. Here it is. Find time for each other. Yes. You have to find time for your significant other. I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of not always making that my priority, which is I'm thankful to you for sometimes like pulling me by my hair and be like, hey, motherfucker, you know, we need time together. And I was like, all right, yes.
And that's one thing right. that I told you. I will not be in a relationship with somebody who I have to constantly remind to be intentional, to be present with me. Because if that's the case, there's no point for me to be in a relationship with you or anybody else. Yeah. Same thing with friendships. If I'm the only one reaching out to you and I don't get the same type of energy reciprocated, then, hey, I'll think that you don't want to have me around in your life or you're not making time. No hard feelings, Hakuna Matata. I'll be on my way, you'll be on yours. You've never seen The Lion King?
Yes, I've seen Lion King. What does Hakuna Matata to do with this conversation?
Hakuna Matata.
You know what that means?
It's a wonderful day.
Do you know what Hakuna Matata means?
What does it mean?
Wow. Have you seen Lion King? It means no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. No worries. Meaning you go your way and I go my way. Oh my Jesus.
Whatever.
Take the wheel.
We're interpreting Hakuna Matata differently. Don't ruin my childhood cartoon, okay?
You're ruining it for yourself.
It's the shit. It's the shit. But 100%.
Yeah. Because I'm too old. I'm too old to. I want to do this life.
Too old, but you're fine, baby.
I want to do this life with you. So making sure that you make time for me and I make time for you. And that is what needs to be done in life because it shouldn't be just work, 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 work.
A lot of successful entrepreneurs, even the ones that I know personally, they make that their priority.
It has to be.
They assign certain days of the week and dedicate them to their significant others. Not even children, like outside of children. Mm-hmm. Just, today is, you guys go over there. Today is mommy and daddy day. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, that's important. And I definitely see the importance of that.
Just like you need to have a day with your friends.
Yeah.
I think that's really important because, again, you get to reset. You get to have your manly conversations. You get to do your manly things
like
so that you can remember why you enjoy this life with those that you enjoy spending your time with. I love to have time with my girls. That's why tomorrow I'm going to go see Leah.
Girls? I thought you don't have friends. You lose your...
Shut up. I hate you.
Just kidding. Just kidding. It was just her birthday a few days. Well, 5 days ago. February 14th. I'm so fucking lucky that my woman's birthday is also falls on the Valentine's Day. Yeah, yes. But it was good. Whole week was her birthday week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we had fun. We had a lot of friends. And we had dinners and brunches and all that stuff. Yeah, and you still have more coming up, don't you?
I think so.
A couple of dinners, a couple of brunches.
Oh, yeah.
You fancy, girl.
But because I was able to make an impact in their lives, they want to take me out. And I'm appreciative to them because that to me is quality.
Yeah.
That means they enjoy me, they enjoy my time, they enjoy who I am, and they want to do that for me. And I told myself, you know what, I need to do that more too. Yeah. I need to do that and taking people out to spend time with them. No phones, no work. Like, I'll get to that later. An hour or two with that person so that they feel that their love tank is being filled from their friend group. And that's important.
You have to also find time for your friends. Gotta fill their love tank. Mm-hmm. Those are good ones. We went over a bunch of good ones. I'm gonna give you guys a little recap. So again, today's topic conversation is what do we do in our relationship to keep it healthy. But before I give you guys a recap, if you guys are wondering why is it that I'm wearing a hoodie while she's wearing a little tank top?
I was about to ask. That's a nice hoodie.
Actually, it's a great hoodie. It's very comfortable. The color on you. Yeah. Well, first of all, I was feeling a little under the weather after last week. But besides that, just a very comfortable hoodie. Thanks to my man Saul Aguilera from Everyday Counts sending me this hoodie. It's pretty awesome gear. It's not too hot. It's not, it kind of keeps you nice and warm. It's good, yeah. Get yourself one. They have a whole line of clothes, hoodies, t-shirts. Make sure to get yourself one at everydaycounts818.com or follow him on Instagram page, everydaycounts818. Pretty cool guy. Thanks very much again, bro. I appreciate that.
My question is, what does it say in Spanish?
Why are you asking me, fool? I can only read the English part.
Well,
Spanish,
translate
I think
it.
there's Hebrew. What does it say? I can't even read it. It's upside down.
Okay, what is everyday counts translated to Spanish?
I don't know. Tell me.
You've been dating me for how long? You still don't know Spanish?
Oh, because you haven't taught me Spanish.
No, because you don't want to learn. I gave you a bunch of cards and you just
I ain't got time
disregarded
for that.
Exactly.
I got Google
Cada
Translator.
día cuenta.
Cada día cuenta.
Cada día cuenta.
Okay.
Let's hear it. Come on.
Cada día cuenta.
Come on, act like you really want to say
Cada día cuenta.
Cada.
Cada.
Okay,
listen, we're not here to give them. They're gonna laugh their asses off, man. These fucking Russian channels.
That's the whole point.
Wow, you set me up. Okay, no, get out of here. I ain't cheering you for that shit. Anyways, here we are. We're gonna wrap this up, and I'll tell you guys the things that we do in our relationship to keep it healthy and strong. Right?
In case they weren't listening.
Stay vulnerable with each other. Like, be able to be vulnerable with each other. Have uncomfortable conversations. Make each other laugh, like I make you laugh all the time, pretty much. Support each other. Give each other outside of perspective as well. Don't just be like tunnel vision on giving one person's perspective. Give a perspective of a friend as well sometimes. Step out of your role as a partner. Attend to each other's needs all the time as well. Give each other space. Don't be too clingy. Don't be like up in the other person's business. And most importantly, find time for each other. Like, genuinely find time for your partner. Turn off the phone. Put on D&D. Turn off the TV, stop staring the box, and just spend time talking to your partner. That will go a long way. Assign like a day of the week where you just pick some time and spend it with your partner.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's doing chores, even if it's just reading to each other or picking up a hobby, trying a new restaurant, but just being present.
Yeah. Good. Dinners is an easy way of doing that. Not only do you get to enjoy some good meal, but also you kind of stare and you're forced to talk to the other person. But then you want to
change it up because you don't want to get too comfortable by just going to dinners.
Activities and fun stuff. What I hate seeing is when we go to dinners and we see a couple, and what are they doing?
Always on the phone.
Like this. It's just staring. So that's so stupid. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys for today. This episode is quick and easy. Keep sending us DMs. I know you get more DMs than I do about relationships. Men don't ask me a lot of times about relationships. Most of the time it's, how do I break up with my ex? Or my girlfriend? Or how to get back with my ex? I had the guy ask me that. I kind of went off on him.
You don't.
Yeah.
You block.
Yeah. But yeah, send us a DM if you guys want to hear some topics of conversations when it comes to relationships. We're happy to answer those questions. And what we can do, we can turn them into a episode. So hopefully whatever we implement in our relationship, we're happy to share with you guys. And that's what we do this for, the His and Hers episodes, is to give you guys a little insight on what we do in our relationship to keep it healthy and strong, and maybe to teach and share with all of you guys the tricks that we utilize. So, Thank you, baby, for another great episode.
Always mine.
I just hope I can go and just sleep now because I had enough talking to you. I'm just kidding. I love you. But I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned. Follow, click, like, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody who you think may benefit. And I'll see you guys next time.
Toodles.